All right, so I woke up. So I was watching a program from Management page last night. It was actually a long time program. He did it recently in the week, and I was watching it last night. He had on Marlon Glean, the Grenada FA president, on his program discussing football and football in the region and those things. And I think it was a very, very good interview. Very, very extremely informative. And like I said, well done to management on that interview. And there's a particular talking point I grab out of it, because what happened is that someone asked me the question about it already as well, regarding to the huge shipment of players from the diaspora to represent Jamaica. And the question is, does that improve football in Jamaica, or does it only basically put a band-aid over a terrible situation or a bad cut, or basically a gunshot? Anyway, welcome back to MG Sports, people. Thank you very much again for joining, and hopefully you guys are doing good. You don't necessarily have to like the video now. You can like at the end if you agree with me or if you like the content that I put out. If you're here for the first time and you like these type of contents, I would implore you to hit the subscribe button and at the end of the video if you like the video. If not, no problem. If you dislike it, you can also put a dislike there as well. If you don't like the content, you can also go in the comment section and tell me, hey, that's stupidness. Now, let's get straight to the meat of the matter. We can list a lot of names over the past 7, 9, 10. We've been doing this for many years now. We've been tapping into the diaspora, getting players from England, or wherever we can, to get the quality player we need to take us over the line. And that line is the World Cup line. That has been the main target for many, many years now, the World Cup line. And we have failed on many, many occasions in trying to tip the balance in going over that line, despite the heavy endorsed recruitment of players overseas. Now, there's many factors why we haven't crossed the line. Many, many factors inside politics, in-house politics within the JFF, favoritism, all of these things have been a big, big issue. And these are situations which have cost us not to go over that line per se. Now, Marlon Glean, that's the Grenada president, he made a comment stating that he will not prioritize importing players, and this is his view. He will not prioritize importing players, and yet still the quality or the content of his football on ground is nowhere of good quality. His intent is to formulate a program where internally they have such a good league and players within the nation that whichever players are coming from the diaspora, those players will be coming to compete for a spot. And that's what struck me. I'm like, interesting. Very, very interesting talking point. Then I look at our current situation in Jamaica, where the local league is subpar in some sense. Many of the teams are not nowhere near the quality. Most of the players are not at the quality to play at the international standard. Majority of the players, I would say, to play at the international standard, not saying that they can't represent their country, but most definitely we are in a similar situation. That's the reason why I find it very, very interesting. Now, as I said, the big question is the importation of all those players in the diaspora the main reason why there's a stagnant movement where the development of local football is concerned? And my point on that is there are many, many factors to it. Now, one of the factors are what is being done internally. Yes, we understand the importation, because a lot of persons believe that there's the mindset is that if a player plays for the national team, based off that exposure, that will get him to the place that he wants to be, where in regards to quality-wise or understand international football level, and maybe getting exposed to those type of level of football can better him. But really and truly, if a player, if MG Sports get called for the national team at 20 years old and to play against, let's say, Mexico, and he's a part of that team, and he go and experience that, what it's like playing against these top teams, And so we get a fairly decent result, a 2-2 draw, 1-1 draw. MG Sports player had a fairly decent game, you know, on the right wing. Probably assist for the goal. Probably. Anyways, just saying. Guess what the problem is now? He would have gotten that experience, 100%, which is well needed. The problem is now, MG Sports will be coming back into the Jamaica Premier League where the level is not there. So MG Sports playing well for Portmore United, yeah, and get the call up. But guess what happened now? Gets the call up, go and represent the national team, perform well, understand the situation and how international football is set up. But guess what? After the international duty is over, he's gone back to the Jamaica Premier League where the quality is not that much. Yes, he might look stand out in the league. The problem is, if he does not make a move by 22-23, he will be in big problems because his development will decline rather than go up. That is where the problem lies. So, for me personally, I would say the mass importation of players at the senior level has little to no impact on the product that is in the country. Now, I do believe that there must be a pathway to the national team. I don't think you should have a national team where there's no pathway for players within the local league to make it. Because you have to understand that if you have a national team with not even one player in that team from that nation, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good for sponsorship. It doesn't look good in many, many ways. The fans don't have a problem, but footballing minds and people in the footballing realm would see it as a big issue. Now, he has got a problem. A lot of these sponsors are sponsoring the product of Jamaica. And a lot of the business part of football, many fans don't understand, but they do understand that they want to see their team win and they want to see the best team out there as possible in their mind. Because best team is kind of varies differently. So basically, that's the reason I have to say in their mind. So based off of what them think is the best team. So there must be a pathway that, you know what, if I work hard enough within the local league, at least one player would get that opportunity. If you agree, no problem. If you disagree, no problem at all. But that's just how the structure of football is at the international level. Go and check it for yourself. I won't be the one to tell you how to do it. Go and check every single international team. There's definitely a player from their local league playing in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, doesn't matter. There has to be, because there must be a pathway. A 10, 11, 12-year-old whose dream is to play for the national team, and when you reach the age of 20, you realize there's no way I can make the national team because the local league is just not good enough. What sense does it make? No. And many persons are going to say, you know what? If that is the case, fix the local league then. And I agree. The problem is this. There will never be enough money. There will never be enough infrastructure to fix it to reach at the level to compete against the France, the Belgium, and all of these teams. There will never be enough money to do that because these teams are the powerhouses. Now, we can have enough to be sufficient because we can put out a fully local squad, domestic-based squad, and compete in the Caribbean Cup nations within the Caribbean and look well. But once we start stepping out of the Caribbean, that's where the problem lies. That is where the problem lies. So you see the disconnect where quality is concerned versus at the highest level. But in the same sense, I would understand when a fan or a supporter say, I don't want to see no local player in the squad. And I will also understand when a fan say, I want to see some local players in the squad. Because at the end of the day, everyone has a valid point and everyone has their own opinion on how they view football. So this is the situation. Even if we get the league at a particular level, we're still not going to be good enough to compete against the players playing in England and those things. So still, that means you cannot disregard what you have at home. You at least have to show that there is a pathway, even if you work hard enough. You have to give them the dream. You have to give the players the dream, something to dream about, something to hope for. And that's what keeps them going, that one day they will make it to the national team. Just as any human being dreams that one day they'll be rich, one day they will own this, one day they'll achieve that. If there's no pathway for that dream or hope, it makes no sense. At least it makes no sense. My apologies. It makes no sense you go on that route. It makes no sense at all. So, in my view, I personally don't think that the mass importation of players playing in the diaspora is affecting the local product. I think what's affecting the local product is the local product itself. Now, what you can do now to improve the local product is, as one stated earlier, infrastructure, more investment. Also coaching, increase the quality of coaching by twofolds. Increase the amount of referees, the quality of refereeing to improve the game. Increase the broadcasting support as well, where you have more games being seen at all levels. These things are what can improve the product. These things are what can improve the players. Players can see themselves, look back on themselves, realize what. So these things can improve the productivity and also the international standards throughout the league. But in the same sense, it would take. I don't think you're going to find players who are going to be able to play at that level. But what's going to consistently happen is you're going to find out that some of the best players will eventually end up going to leagues overseas and abroad, which means that the league will remain at a particular level. That's just the nature of the beast of football. Just the same, look at how much leagues in Europe. There's so much leagues in Europe, and they have unlimited amount of resources. Why don't you think those? For example, the amount of leagues in Spain with more resources than even Jamaica Premier League. Way more resources, way more broadcasting. But yet still, you don't have those players from those leagues being selected for the national team. It's coming from La Liga. Most of those players are coming from La Liga or the top leagues across the world. Because that's just the nature of the beast. So it doesn't matter how much infrastructure or this put in, that's just the case. Just like championship. It doesn't matter how well a player is doing in championship, what are the chances of him being called to the national team, England team? No. And championship have unlimited resources, unlimited money. So you always find out that the players being selected are players from the top echelon. What does the championship teams hope for is that getting promoted, doing well in the Premier League, and their star player getting that opportunity. But guess what? There's a pathway there. Getting promoted, going to the Premier League, and their star player getting an opportunity to represent the national team. So at least there's a pathway there. That's what I'm saying. There must be a pathway. But also, the local league must present or improve itself for us to really have an in-depth look and say, you know what? The diaspora, the importation of diaspora is not affecting anything here. Because our money is, what we're doing here is separate from the national team, but these players are playing their socks off to be seen to get that opportunity to represent the national team. So there's many facets to it here. Anyways, that's my view on it. Tell us what you think in the comment section. Smash the like button if you like the video. Hit the subscribe button if you're here for the first time and you like this type of content. And I'll see you guys again. Until next time, MG Sports TV. We're out. God bless. Tell us your thoughts in the comment section. I really, really want to know. Big up. God bless. Enjoy yourself, dear people. Boom.